told y'all. Bad Mike told you time and time again.
Yeah, what's happening? What's happening? I'm getting my own in. Interesting day ahead of us. No NFL, no football, no college football, no nothing. Well, we do have the off season that is upon us, and interesting to say enough. Uh, some pretty crazy news for quite some time. Yeah, so kind of an interesting day. So um I'm trying to get something straight so I can. Yeah, really? What the hell? All right. Y'all tripping. Okay, how that makes sense. Whatever. All right, so yeah, my bad. Facebook up here trying to yeah, whatever. All right. Nobody wanna listen to me. All right, so there you go. All right, so quite a few things have happened since then. Like I said, if y'all already go ahead and throw them questions in there. Um, kind of talked about it briefly last night, and it's a pretty interesting situation. And like I said, I'm not one, and I don't like the pile on. Like my issue is like the pile on and the finger pointing and all that type of stuff. Like I think we can do out without that type of stuff. Um, Me, I don't see a need to keep this and this and this and this. Like at the end of the day, man, um, we gotta let situations play out. It's like it's we got quite a few things that have happened. A lot of things that have happened. You know, I don't even just say in football. It's just in general. Um, but this situation with um former wide receiver for the Atlanta Falcons and Rondale Moore, it's a touching situation. It's a frustrating situation, and we got quite a few people that just they jump to a conclusion. They jump to the first thing that they see in their head, and I don't necessarily think that's a good idea. Um, but you're gonna have people do whatever the hell they want to do, regardless. But I think it's one of them situations where it's like I don't even see what's the need for the finger pointing and all that type of stuff. Like a lot of things not gonna bring your boy back. Us fighting and fighting and crying and whining and all that type of shit. Like that's not gonna that's not gonna change anything. Um, so I don't necessarily. We've seen. Let me give y'all an idea of what I'm talking about. Right. So Jamal Adams put this out. I said I'm not jumping to conclusions, but let me say this: fans and the media be quick to label a player injury prone. We don't choose to get hurt. Sometimes shit just happens. Y'all don't see the rehab, the pain, the mental drain that causes. That process can make you lose yourself. This shit is real. No matter how much support you get, you still got to fight the battle alone. Um, a lot of people not gonna like it. What I got to say, but that's what I do. Um, some situations we just got to stop. Like, this is no time to be pointing the finger at the media and the fans. It's like, yeah, the fans can be over the top. Yeah, the media can be over the top. And a lot of times we can be over the top. Whether you negative, perceived negative. I don't think this is one of the times where we should be even talking about. Like, I don't even understand what's the point of even talking about whether or not a guy is, and that's to be honest, what's the point of even bringing up the media and the fan? We know we don't choose to be, nobody chooses to be injured. Like, nobody would choose to be injured. Okay. A person with that mental faculties all together, nobody would want to be injured. Nobody would want to be hurt. Like, nobody that. And I think as fans and as football players and players in general, and we already jump into the blame game. There are things in the course of the day. It's like nobody chooses to be ill with this or that. And there just isn't a Rondale Moore. This isn't a football issue. Okay? This isn't just a football issue. And I think football players are just jumping. And like I said, a lot of them, they have good intentions behind it, but like this is not one of those situations where this is just subjected to Rondale Moore. We know in life, period, that things happen, out of your own personal control. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of times your own personal health issues, whether it's physical or mental, those things that you have to fight on a daily basis. We get that. Like I said, this isn't one of them situations where it's just Rondale Moore. This is everyday fucking life. And one of the things I try not to do is to get into, the finger pointing at media, finger pointing at, the fans. I don't think, for one, ain't gonna solve a damn thing. It's not gonna solve anything. And I've had the privilege to sit down with certain players. They deal with things just not just injuries. You're talking about providing for your family. You talk about providing for your friends, all that type of shit. All that goes into consideration. And then we got instances where guys have battle from certain mental issues, CTE, and things of that nature. Like, this shit is absolutely real, without a doubt. But we not even a whole 24 hours into this, and instead of pouring into Rondale Moore, you know what I'm saying, and his family, and like I said, a lot of, I don't think this is a situation where we should be taking Rondale Moore's personal issue and unfortunate time and death to just point the finger at the fans and say, well, y'all don't know what it's like. Of course people know what it's like. They know what fucking struggle is like. A lot of people understand what physical, mental struggles are. And I think this is like anytime anything goes bad, Like everybody like to start the finger pointing. Everybody. And like I said, whether you have good intentions of doing it, and I'm sure Jamal Adams had good intentions to come out and say that, some fans and the media be quick to label a player injury prone. We don't choose to get hurt. Of course you don't. And that again, we got people that are not football players, and they go through their own physical. So this is one of the reasons why I say, man, just celebrate the man's life. A good dude, good guy. Um, and stop using every bad situation or on unfortunate situation to get out and point the finger at fans and point the finger at the media, because this is not a situation with Rondell Moore's um, passing to sit up here and say, well, the media, man, they be so quick to jump to a conclusion and say, y'all don't know what it's like, we alone. Look, man, again, this is life, period, point blank. A lot of times you got to fight that battle alone. Sometimes you do. And a lot of times you do need people to stand there. And sometimes people are going to stand there with you. But if the issues are a whole lot more different than what we understand and what we know, it's like I said, it's it's a difficult situation, unfortunate situation. But let's not start pointing the finger at the fans. Let's not start pointing the finger at the media. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, it's a part of life, an unfortunate part of life. And let's not use Rondell's Moore to start pointing and bashing the media and bashing the fans over a situation like this. It's the same thing what I was saying about James Pierce Jr. Do I personally have a issue when it comes down to certain things? Of course. In regards to how I personally believe a team should be put together, of course I do. I do. But you gotta let things play out. You gotta let things play out. Because what we know with James Pierce, he may have a deeper issue than any one of us understands and knows. Look, I understand people get upset in the moment and all that type of stuff, but let it play out, y'all. Let the shit play out. Let Rondell Moore and many like him let it play out, because we don't know. All we can do, honestly, is pray for him and try to be there at the end of the day. And we got again, you got some questions, you can throw it in there. Rock, what's going on, man? Okay, we can get to let me put that right there. Got that. I got a few comments on here I want to highlight. Hold on. Here we go. All right, so if you guys have not already seen Javonte Williams, I did a video on Javonte Williams. You guys can check that out. And did that on Javonte Williams, and Javonte Williams see the 3-year, $24 million contract. And I think 16 of it was guaranteed, 8 per. Interesting contract to say the least, because we got our very own Tyler Allgeier, and I thought it was interesting to speak on him because I was watching Ove Mohaley and Michael Turner on their podcast with Bliv, and they were talking about the running back position. One of the things that Michael Turner was talking about, he was asked by Mohaley that what do you think about Michael about his contract? What do you think about his contract? about Tyler Allgeier's contract. He said something interesting. I think we got to take into consideration, but again, a lot of people don't take that into consideration. They just jump to the straight conclusion, automatic conclusions. It's like, for one, we don't know what his price tag is. We have no clue what Tyler Allgeier's price tag is. That's one thing. But another thing that stood out to me is just, again, he was asked by Haley about him getting his bread going to another team. And him going to another team and Michael Turner going from San Diego Chargers, playing behind LaDainian Tomlinson, him and going to get his bread and whatnot. One of the things he said, and I think this is the key right here, y'all, is that back then they were paying running backs. Right now, they're not paying these running backs. That right there, when you look at what Tyler Allgeier, what he can bring to the Atlanta Falcons, that goes back to what I was saying before. We don't know. Like, this is a good sign when you got Javonte Williams. He got a $16 million guarantee, $16 million guarantee, 8 per year, 24, 3-year, 24. And this guy rushed for 1,200 yards, 11 touchdowns on the season. That's a lot of fucking yards. And then you look at Tyler Allgeier, rushed for about 508 touchdowns. That ain't 1,200. That's not 1,200. I think that's the thing when you look at this, like, do we like Tyler Allgeier? Of course. But Michael Turner, again, you guys can check him out. The Blips with Ove Mohaley, Michael Turner, and these are the things that they were talking about. The biggest takeaway out of this situation is that they're not paying running backs like that. For a guy that rushed for 1,200 yards and a guy that's been pretty consistent throughout his career, Javonte Williams, he only got 8 per year, and he rushed for 1,200 yards. And you're talking about Dallas Cowboys, who are notorious for paying their offensive guys. So they were probably much more generous with Javonte Williams than any other franchise probably would have been. And I think that's the thing with the Atlanta Falcons in this situation with Bijan Robinson. We got Kyle Pitts. A lot of people are wondering whether or not Kyle Pitts is going to be back. I think that's something you got to throw up in the air, to be honest. You got to throw it up in the air because interesting topic in its own right. You looking at it with Bijan Robinson, you got Kyle Pitts, Drake London, you got Matthew Bergeron. There's been some talking what the Atlanta Falcons are going to do with Kyle Pitts and whether or not they're going to tag him. If they can tag him, it's going to be somewhere between, I say about 14 to 16. I think they tag him. It'll be $16 million. That's right along the line of a guy like Donnie Mooney and where he's getting paid. And I think I'm tagging Kyle Pitts. So for the most part, you have 27, 28, 29 for Kyle Pitts to kind of do some things with his contract. Possibly go to a long term deal. You can do some things with that. You got Jesse Bates and his contract coming up real soon. Jesse Bates, the last couple of years of his, they may restructure his deal. I mean, it's quite possible that a guy like Ian Cunningham may be looking at, and I hate to say it like this, but he could be looking at Jesse Bates like a ham sandwich. Like, he could really be looking at Jesse Bates like a ham sandwich right now. It's like, I'll do anything to get rid of him. I'll do anything to get rid of him because we heard about Ian Cunningham, he loves his picks. He values picks because he wants to develop the team the proper way. So he can move some things around in that regard. He can move some things around in that regard to kind of uh, get a few dollars here and there, get a few picks here and there. So it's quite possible that you may be seeing, a completely different team. Okay, let me go to these comments real quick. Okay. Like I said, y'all go ahead and throw them damn. All right, so we got that cut Mooney. You can I mean you could you that's an option. My thing is that's definitely an option with Darnell Mooney. If I were the Atlanta Falcons, I would consider doing that with without a doubt. I wouldn't even hesitate to do it. Like I believe personally that you can get a wide receiver in the third and fourth round that can play better than what Mooney is giving us and what he's getting paid to do. Like it's a waste of money to be giving that guy that much money to not be putting up numbers. If you getting paid anything over $10 million, and I'm saying you getting 30 catches in a season, 15 game season, man, get up off my field. Get up off of them. That's a waste of fucking money. I don't think guys has been undrafted free agent that don't put up less, that don't put more numbers than this son of a bitch has. It's the waste of funds, it's the waste of talent, and it's a waste of the Atlanta Falcons fan base and organization's time. I don't give a damn about what he did the previous years. When you get paid X amount of dollars to put up more to be a playmaker, because that's what you paying a guy. When you pay a guy anything upwards of $8+ million, you're paying them to be a significant, to have a significant role on the team. And this guy getting paid 14, $15 million not to do any of that, it's the waste of my fucking time. It's a waste of the fans' time, and it's a waste of just fans in general. It's a waste. Darnell Mooney is an absolute waste for the Atlanta Falcons. And you're probably saying to themselves again, probably saying to yourself again, like, all right, let's keep Mooney. My thing, what the hell are we keeping him for? What the fuck are we keeping Darnell Mooney for? What I want to know, you guys, let me know in the comment section. What's the benefits of keeping the Darnell Mooney? I really want to know that. I really want to know what right there is the benefits of keeping the Darnell Mooney around with this Atlanta Falcons offense. What Darnell Mooney at the helm, like what's the benefit of having him? I don't see any benefit of keeping a guy that's making $10+ million is gonna catch 32, and he's gonna be inconsistent. And let's give him the fact that he was injured last year. That's another quote. That right there is another issue. We like to pick on Michael Penix all the time, but what about Darnell Mooney? Let's just say he was injured. He had a number of issues, injuries. Ribs, shoulder, all types of stuff. Like, what's the point of keeping him? Are we gonna turn around and do the exact same thing? Like, it's an absolute, like I said, for me, that's not look, that's a foregone conclusion to me. I'm getting him off of my team. What the fucking quickness? It's a waste of time and a waste of money. Like I said, you could be developing someone else, but no, we keeping Darnell Mooney on this damn team for what? Due to quarterback Joey Aguilar from Tennessee not getting another year, how do you feel about drafting him as a backup? All right, you tell me how you feel about him. Pat, you tell me about Aguilar. Tell me what you see first, because I can tell you exactly what I. That's the easy part. You tell me. I want what you see out of him. John, what's going on, man? Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Because I know you ain't talking about the dude. That's the same Joey Aguilar that was Come on, Pat. Stop being damn. He need developing. No, I didn't ask you if he need developing. Come on, stop. Tell me what you see in him, because you asked the question for a reason. What do you see in Joey Aguilar? To even ask me that question, you got to see something in him. You just need him. I know you're smarter than that, Pat. Come on now. He need developing. Come on, that don't do that basic shit with me. Because I can tell you what his numbers are: 37, 3,000, 3,500. So he's consistently put up 3,000 passing yards with Appalachian State and Tennessee. He's had, 24 touchdowns, 10 interceptions last year. Um, do you believe he's a good athlete? Are we saying that is he a good athlete? Is he a good quarterback? Like, why would if let's say this? Let's just say that you're a head coach of an organization. Let's say you're the head coach of the Atlanta Falcons, Georgia Bulldogs, whatever you can, whatever the case may be. Why would you bring a Joey Aguilar to me and say, "Hey, Mike, what you think about Joey Aguilar?" My first question to you is like, why should I look at Joey Aguilar? You got to pitch it to me. Why should I look at Joey Aguilar? What stands out to you when you're talking about a Joey Aguilar to even suggest the name? Because it's either size, athleticism, or his stats. Got to be a reason why y'all ask to look at certain guys or certain why you enjoy certain guys. Enjoy Aguilar for me. It's like right off the bat, if I were to look at Joey Aguilar right now in any type of highlights, let me just open up something real quick. I'm gonna do exactly that. I'm gonna give y'all a quick. This is how quick it tells. I'm about to show y'all how quick it is for me to look at a quarterback and kind of get an idea of what he is. Don't take me. Come on, Pat. So you just so happen to just blindly bring up Joey Aguilar. You don't enjoy him. You just asking. Come on, y'all. Come on, man. Like you didn't just brain that did just brain fart. You didn't. That wasn't a brain fart to say, man. Yeah, I'm just gonna randomly say Joey Aguilar. Come on, Pat. You smarter than that. You hit me up all the time. There's a reason why you did that. All right. I'm about to show you. I'm look at it right now. Okay. All right. And I seen them play against the Georgia Bulldogs, so I already pretty much got an idea of looking at them. I seen them play against the Bulldogs. All right, so right off the bat, looking at them, standing tall in the pocket. Obviously, they playing a lot in the gun. They run a lot of concepts to get that ball out quick, obviously, but that's almost every quarterback. Another drop back. Um, they run a lot of concepts just to get. They run a lot of plays just to get the ball out of his hand quickly. So it's kind of difficult to get an understanding of what type of quarterback. And I'm looking at the Georgia game. He, like I said, just looking at him right off the bat, like it's hard to get a gauge on any of these quarterbacks when they running these schemes. Obviously, I'm looking at him right off the bat. He plays a lot like Fernando Mendoza. He plays a lot like Fernando Mendoza. If I'm looking at Aguilar, oh God, that's a terrible deep pass. Yeah, I hit the yeah. He's floating the ball up, playing in that pocket. Typically that ball would have been intercepted if a defensive back was actually playing well. But uh I'm looking at him right now. I just playing in that pistol formation. Yeah, they run a lot of like this is it's difficult to look at a lot of these quarterbacks. You got to get this is why a lot of teams are going to like this is why a lot of guys are going to these they're going to the pro days to get a better look because these combines and you look at a lot of these games, they running concepts to just get the ball out of the quarterback hand, and you don't really get a idea of how good these guys is because they're system protected. A lot of these quarterbacks are system protected. This is why I say the RPO, the spread offense is not really good for the development of quarterbacks because you're just running schemes to protect the quarterback, get it out of his hand, and you're not teaching him. You're not teaching him how to really look at the field. You're just teaching him how to get the ball out of his hand and process getting the ball out of his hand. And that was almost picked off because you're teaching him to just get the ball out of his hand. All right, what's going on? A lot of pistol, a lot of gun coming from him. Looking at this game with him against Georgia, that's what stood out. Again, a lot of pistol, not a lot of yeah, they're not it's not a lot of time where he's actually surveying the field. They're running a lot of concepts just to get the ball out of his hands. And that's like those one of those things that is better. You get a better read for a lot of those guys that are quarterbacks for the most part in pro days. That's why a lot of these guys are sitting out on the combine because one, they don't want to risk injuries, but a lot of time it's a much more personable environment because you can kind of get a gauge on what the quarterback can do in those pro days. Combines aren't great for scouting football IQ. Combines are just there or just to see how athletic a guy is. And that right there, that's why I said the pro days more, you get a better gauge on what a quarterback and a player can do. at a pro day. But yeah, I'm looking at Aguilar, a system guy, not very ugh, that was a bad throw. They use a lot of pistol, a lot of gun with Tennessee. No, you can't throw that. That's a late cross the field throw. And it was late, but being that, yeah, you can't be late on the sideline. Yeah, you can't be late on the sideline with a lot of these or these throws. That should go for a pick six. Play a lot of the gun, quick, another quick. See, and that's another reason why I say it's like a lot of these quarterbacks aren't really developed. Like I don't think Fernando Mendoza should be the number one overall pick. I think he's just gonna be there by default because I've seen the same thing with him. They train these quarterbacks just to get the ball out of their hands quickly instead of learning how to run offenses, how to think on the fly. Like you don't see Fernando Mendoza in a 2-minute offense when the headsets are done what he can do. Like we don't do any of that. You don't see any of that. So you can't get an idea of what Don was just saying about his football IQ. We don't know what his football IQ is because guess what? He's in a system that's designed to get the ball out of his hand quickly. You're at the mercy of the offensive coordinator. You're at the mercy of the head coach. We don't know what he could do. And that's why a lot of these damn wide receivers end up having a lot of problems with the quarterback because they don't know what to do. Guys like Julio want the ball, and if a quarterback can't get him the ball, that's going to be a problem. So these are one of the things when you look at a lot of these quarterbacks, they look good, they got some good numbers, but they're system protected. Pro days aren't time drills. Players have time to get this stuff in and not rush through them. That's how a lot of players get hurt during the combine. Yeah, it's a rest system with the combine. And we got Dre Murphy here. Hey everybody, what's going on, man? No, that's not true. That's not true at all. The pistol is not killing the quarterback development. The quarterback development is being killed because they don't use a lot of running. They don't run the ball. That is no formation will ever kill the development of any quarterback. Hey, let me say it again. No formation will ever kill the development of the quarterback. What kills the development of the quarterback is the lack of a running game and the lack of play action. You need constant motion with quarterback. You need a constant protection scheme that's going to get the quarterback out of a certain spot when he's uncomfortable. Those are the things that kill the quarterback. Because you look at the Rams, for example. This is a perfect example of what I'm saying. If you go look at their offense, you very seldom see the exact same formations 2 to 3 times in a row. Very seldom do you see, unless they in the red zone, you very seldom see the Rams in the same formations over and over again. You're going to get different types of formations with the Rams almost every drive. They don't stick in the same formation. These are the things that stick. Formations don't kill. The pistol does not kill. It actually protects the quarterback because everything is in everything is packed and compact. Excuse me. But like no, that doesn't. The pistol doesn't kill the development of quarterback because it's designed to get the ball out of his hand and protect the quarterback. The thing is, when you don't switch and change the formations, you got to constantly change the formation. And that's one thing that if you look at the Rams, just go look at. I'm gonna tell y'all right now. I'm gonna show you. You guys get a chance. Go look at the Rams offense. If you go look at the Rams offense, you'll see exactly what I'm talking about with the constant change in formations. They very seldom see the same formations. They use two tight ends, three tight ends. They use two, three wide receivers. Sometimes they use four. But even during the course of a drive, they'll switch it up. They'll go all tight end, two, three tight ends the whole drive, and then the next drive they'll switch it up and they'll go to wide out. They'll spread them out. These are the things that Sean McVay does well. He started as a tight end coach, just like Kevin Stefanski. And these are the things that help get the development of quarterback is all about comfort. You got to call plays that he's comfortable with. When the quarterback is feeling it, you got to run those same concepts over and over and over again when he's feeling it. When a quarterback isn't feeling it, that's when it comes down to the pistol not hurting or not helping the quarterback, Jerome, because you stick in a formation when a quarterback isn't comfortable. That's why you got to rely on the running game. You got to rely on play action. A lot of these quarterbacks are uncomfortable because they're not running the ball enough. You force them to go out and throw 30 times a game. Like for me, I think if you want to develop a quarterback properly, he should never, in my opinion, throw more than 20 times in a game. If you want to properly develop a quarterback, he shouldn't be throwing no more than 20 times in a game. It should always, a quarterback development, you should have him passing a maximum of 25 times in a game. Everything should be run the ball, play action, get the ball out of his hand quickly so he can get comfortable. The more he gets comfortable, the more plays you give him, more opportunities you give him to throw the ball when he's comfortable. That right there is what hurts quarterbacks, is that you got these coaches like Zach Robinson that want their quarterback to just go out here. And like, to be honest, it really doesn't matter if you're a younger or older quarterback. Like I've seen with games where Matthew Stafford just ain't feeling it. And instead of them, running the ball a little bit more, they continue to throw it because he's Matthew Stafford. It's all about the comfort. You got to make sure your quarterback is comfortable first. And the only way you're going to do that and get a quarterback comfortable is running the ball, getting the ball out of his hands quickly. Yet let him use his athleticism. If he does have that, let him run. This is why I be looking at guys like Justin Fields, and I'm just like, why are you continuously allowing him to throw the ball as much as he do? He's clearly not bent for that type of stuff. So you give him the exact same thing that he's good at. Justin Fields is good at getting the ball out of his hand, checking the ball down, using his athleticism, roll him out, get the ball to his tight ends. It's almost like looking at the Ravens. To be honest, same thing. I would do the same thing with Justin Fields that I'm doing what they do with Lamar. They just ask Lamar to use his legs, use his athleticism, check the ball down to his running backs, and get the ball into his tight end hand. You should have multiple tight ends with a guy like Justin Fields and a young quarterback. You don't want to do too much with those guys. A lot of times, a lot of these problems, even with the Cam Wars, the same thing with him in Tennessee. They want him to throw the ball too much, in my opinion. They need to be leaning on the running game, building the offensive line, but instead we put these quarterback in position where they just want to they put these quarterback in position where you just want them to grow fast. But like I said, no formation is designed to kill the growth of any development of uh, uh of a quarterback. It's just a constant. There has to be a constant change. You can't keep like shooting for the same spot on the floor and not expect them to make adjustments. It's the lack of adjustments that kills a lot of these guys' confidence and development. Yeah, Kevin Stefanski started out as a tight end coach first. maybe he'll put in a word to like I said, he already said he kind of wants him. He kind of would love to work with Kyle Pitts. And like I said, we'll see. The lack of a development itself hurts quarterback. It's the coaching staff job to teach the QB's different formations and how to read the defense. And that right there, this is what I'm talking about. Like there's a myth out there, and I know where it come from. I know where it come from. I understand why people would say that the pistol formation hurts the development of quarterback. No, it's the quarterback. And see, I'm glad Don said this because this is another thing where I get so upset. Um, because there's this myth out here that Michael Penix can't play on the center. He can't play on the center. He played on the center. It is literally fam out here that he plays. I don't care if you do it 5, 10 times during the game. He has to do it. I don't care if he can't do it. You gonna be on the center. I don't care if you comfortable with it. It's your job as a coach to make sure that he 10 times out of a game that he playing on the center. That's it. I don't want to hear that bullshit about him not being comfortable. Make him comfortable. Or he shouldn't be your quarterback, period. You can't tell me that a Dan Marino can play on the center, but a Michael Penix can't play. Get the fuck out of here. That's complete bullshit. Saying that this guy can't play on the center. That's complete horseshit when we talk about it. There's a lack of development when you're talking about the NFL coaches. They get stuck on certain formations, and all they want to do is play out those same formations, which we see with a guy like Zach Robinson. That's all he want to do. Play out of the pistol. Shot out of the gun. That's what he wants to run. And everybody in the league know he gonna play in those two formations, and defenses know how to attack it because that's all he wants to do. They don't know how to turn their back on the defense to do play action, no footwork. And Jerome, that's why we got a guy like Alex Van Pelt on the team, on the staff right now, because that's his job. The thing coming out of college with Michael Penix it had everything to do with his footwork. His footwork was the thing with Michael Penix. It was all about the footwork, the lack of footwork. I don't say the lack of, but he definitely needed to work on his footwork. That's one of the things that Matt Ryan pointed out when he came here, that he wanted to have a guy like Alex Van Pelt, Kevin Stefanski in here, because he's going to teach him proper footwork. Like when certain accuracy issues come because the lack of consistent footwork. You got to have your feet down. So that's why, like for me, I look at the quarterback's feet. If he has great feet, now you know you can do something with it. And when we talk about feet, you don't have to have super quick feet, agile and all that shit. Like, no. A lot of times happy feet is not good feet. Okay? Just because you got happy feet, you can run, you can cut, you can do this thing, don't mean you have good feet. Good feet just mainly means that you have a solid base where you can make every type of throw. Wide stands, throwing off your back foot, throwing sideways, all those types of things. The thing that Patrick Mahomes does, like, those are not good fundamentals that Patrick Mahomes does. He doesn't, oftentimes, the throws that he make are often fundamental no-nos. But certain guys can make those types of throws consistently, but that doesn't mean the footwork was actually something, that is something that they teach. All the throws that Patrick Mahomes make are actually a lot of the bad. I wouldn't say a lot of them, but a few throws in the game where you look at Patrick Mahomes like, bro, throwing off your back foot. But that's where the power. See, Michael Penix can get away with throwing off his back foot or throwing off the, throwing sideways, off balance all the time because he has the arm strength to get that. But if he would have cleaned up all that type of stuff, which Matt Ryan is trying to do, he'll become a monster because he already has the natural talent to make throws like no other quarterback. Because guys like Michael Penix and Mike Vick, Dan Marino, Aaron Rodgers, like them dudes can look, they can sit on their ass and throw the ball 40 yards. Like those guys are just that damn gifted. Jay Black, how you doing, sir? Could you talk about Kobe Bryant and if he's there upside? Um, I mean, we don't know. I don't know. Um, we just got to figure out what. See, the thing is, when you got to change in the guard, things defensively could change. We could go more to a more physical DB room, a more athletic DB room. Like we don't know under Jeff Ulbrich. This is Jeff Ulbrich's defense now. This is not he and Raheem. It's his defense. The Falcons have made it clear that this is Jeff Ulbrich's defense. Okay? They made that clear. 2, you got Nate Ollie. It's his. They brought him back. They brought back Jeff Ulbrich. They brought in LaTroy Lewis. He's another one of those guys. So the defense could fundamentally change. So the Atlanta Falcons they may play a little bit more man. They may play a little bit more zone. I do know Kobe Bryant does indeed play better in a he plays better in a zone type of defense. Not that he can't play man, but he plays better in the zone. He's more physical. He definitely has those playmaking skills that you want, them ball skills that you want out of a DB. But I don't necessarily know that you'll want him in man a lot. But being that we got guys like Xavier Watts and Jesse Bates, it helps clean up a lot. So the Falcons could quite possibly go to a different style, more physical. And I don't know. I mean, Kobe Bryant does have heart. I'm not gonna say that, but he's not AJ Terrell when it comes down to that physicality and the DB. Now I do like Kobe. I think he'll be a good addition. If I've got to kind of look at this point in time and bringing back D. Alford, Kobe Bryant, Mike Hughes. We don't know what the hell's going on with Clark Phillips. That's another answer. But we don't know what Jeff Ulbrich he's going to do. He could fundamentally change how our cornerbacks are playing. Now, I expect we have to play a little bit more man under Jeff Ulbrich because I know he likes to get after the quarterback. He likes to be a little bit more aggressive. I do know that we don't have a Jerry Gray. Jerry Gray went to ball with Raheem Morris. And a few guys that went out there with him. But I do, like I said, I do like that Kobe Bryant. He can get physical. But like I said, the Falcons could fundamentally change things with our cornerback. So I don't know where Jeff Ulbrich is where he's gonna go with that. Like I said, I think a D. Alford is another one of those guys that we got to kind of figure out what the Falcons are gonna do with him. I would love to have D. Alford. I think he played well for Jeff Ulbrich in that defense. But again, we don't know if this defensive team or defensive back, because I do know that Raheem, his strength lies in the DB room. So we don't know. We don't know, to be honest, where it's going to go, to be honest, as far as the fundamentals of the defense and the defensive back. but he does have an upside. He can play. Um, I believe that we definitely need a defensive tackle in the back. That's without question. Falcons definitely need a defensive back, a defensive tackle, a big guy that can stop the run. I think David Onyemata is going to be out of here. He's going to be gone. Um, was Zach Snuffleupagus, Zach Robinson with his slow ass. Um, yeah, that motherfucker Snuffleupagus to me. That's a slow motherfucker. He do some dumb ass shit. Excuse my language this morning. But talking about Raheem and Zach, just yeah. But yeah, like I said, I understand why you said that though, Jerome. And like I said, I always have to correct people because a lot of people like to just um because they don't have the knowledge that you have, Jerome. A lot of people just say, "Yeah, the pistol the format." No, the pistol not the problem. It's the offensive coordinator. You keep running the same fucking formation over again. Like defense is going. These guys are smart in the NFL. They're gonna pick up your habits. And I think that's the thing with the Falcons. They just picked up the habits for Michael Penix. And you already heard what Juan Drill said. Juan said it himself. It was sabotage. Like y'all love to mix it. Y'all mixed the formations with Kirk Cousins, but for whatever reason, y'all didn't want to push Michael Penix. That's the lack of development, man. Like that's a sabotage. Like it ain't no way you can tell me that Michael Penix can't play on the center, but that old crippled ass Kirk Cousins can play on the center. Get the fuck out of here with that bullshit. Okay, because it's horse shit. Motherfucker can like Michael Penix can't bend down, but we got we literally have film of him under center, play action, make a nice throw to the sideline, complete. But you trying to tell me Michael Penix don't like to play on the center? Well, I don't give a fuck what he like. He's shown that he can do it. No problem, Jay Black. I hear you, brother. What do you think about getting the wide receiver that played for Georgia, Zach Branch? Well, uh, I got a football crush on this dude, man. He remind me of my conky. Okay, yeah, that dude, like, man, like that dude is just he's what every quarterback needs. A guy that's not afraid to go over the middle, quick, fast, shifty. You can hand in the ball off, man. You could just do so many things with Zach Branch, but like, yeah, that dude is my football crush. I love this dude like I love my conky. Okay, y'all know I love my conky. Lad my conky. Oh my god, he can do it a lot of the same things that McConkey can do. So I love the fact that Zach Branch is up there now. I hope he does terrible in the draft. So the Falcons can have the opportunity to get him in the second or third round. I hope he does terrible, but I love Zach, man. I think that dude gonna be trouble for any defense in the NFL. The way he can play in the middle of the field, that dude is a stud, man. He got the Tariq Hill type of qualities where you just get the ball in his hand in the open field. Sheesh. Yeah, I love that dude. I love him, and plus, he's a good returner. You can throw him out there to return kicks and play on special teams. He can do all those types of things. So I love Zach. To Drake Mooney. Like I said, the thing is, you just want him in the middle. Who who do you like scheme wise at wide receiver in this draft? Well, I just declared my love for Zach. So I think that's that. I just declared my love for Zach, so it ain't even that. That's who I want. I want him bad on this Falcon team. Just picture him with a Drake London in the middle of the field, man. Like that'd be a nasty combination. You got a guy that's not only physical in Drake, and he can manhandle those guys, but you got a guy like Zach Branch. You put him in the middle of the field, and he can run away from those guys. And the dude is a crazy athlete. Like I said, he reminds me of so much of Lad McConkey, and it's interesting that he reminds me of Lad McConkey because that's what Kirby likes. He likes those types of small, shifty wide receivers that can get the ball and do a lot of things for offense. So, what a guy like Kevin Stefanski, Tommy Reese, those guys have played with different types of things, wide receivers too. But another thing with um with Tommy Reese that we need to pay attention to is like he has the ability to call plays for a guy that really ain't that good of a quarterback to begin with. I mean, do y'all want to go back and talk about the quarterback from Alabama that he was calling plays for? Yeah, wasn't that great, but he made him look good because he understood what rhythm is for a quarterback and using that guy's skill set to get him to make him comfortable. That's what a Tommy Reese can do. And granted that it is college, but he does have play calling experience with the Browns. He took over for Kevin Stefanski. So these are the things that the Atlanta Falcons have at their helm right now. They have a number of guys. I think they have like 3 or 4 guys on the staff that used to be, and I'm probably shortchanging the Falcons on a bit with that, but they got guys that have already been play callers. They already been play callers for the team. So and a guy from Indiana, like I said, he does remind me of Roddy White a bit. He kind of big physical, a big physical back. But like I said, we're gonna get to that during the course of the week, the draft talk. So y'all please hit that subscribe button here because we're gonna give our takes on the draft. About the receivers. I'm definitely gonna do that today and tomorrow, looking at a lot of prospects. But it's gonna be interesting to say the least. But like it's a lot of guys. It's like I said, it's a lot of guys in this draft that the Falcons have the opportunity to get. And I don't think the Falcons should worry too much about the receiving core. But I'm gonna call it a morning. Got to get me some breakfast. T Lord, head over to the Magnet Show. They gonna be going live, and you guys got questions. I will be going live for about 10, 20. If y'all got some questions, I will answer y'all questions for about 20 minutes or so throughout the day. So again, if you guys have questions, I will be going out. I think I'm gonna do a 2 to 3 sessions of live shows today. If you guys got questions, so if y'all got questions, leave the questions after this show ends. Like I said, the Magnet Show is coming up real soon. Go follow the Heavy Hitters live. Sam Show, OG Sam, with Mr. White Sports Network and Coach Unchained for all your draft conversations. All right. We're going to have this all week long. So y'all got it. Y'all had a lot of questions about the draft. Well, this is the damn week for you. You better hit that goddamn subscribe button if you want the draft talk. We're going to go deep. We're going to get to every little crevice, to the right, to the left, to the bottom, to the top of it. We're going to hit that thing like it's never been hit before. Okay. And that right there is the bottom line because Mad Mike said so. I am out of here. Peace.
Put your eyes back in your head.
Like flavor.
Pry their eyes open and force them to see the truth. We will skin the sheep and sacrifice the weak. The unholy alliance has arrived.